Hello, welcome. Today I have the joy to converse with Kim Gaskins, a business strategist and wellness coach, passionate about helping others build the business of their dreams while taking care of their health and well-being. Thank you so much, Kim, for being here today with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to just share a little bit about myself and my program.
When I met you, I was very fascinated by what you do because we overestimate the power of being busy and what that can do to our health and well-being. So what led you to this specific field of coaching?
So I started my coaching business about 10 years ago, shortly after I got my Master's of Business Administration, and started out working with people looking to start businesses, writing business plans, and that gradually got into me actually coaching and helping them establish their businesses and really trying to narrow down what's important to them. What is their passion? What is their vision? And over that time working with clients, I realized that while I was helping them figure out how to make what their passion was, what they wanted their business to look like, we had this imbalance of their well-being not being considered, and you end up thinking that I could work longer hours, I could do whatever, it affects your sleep, it affects whatever. And I also saw those same traits happening in me. So I decided to, on top of my business coaching I was doing, to also start to look at well-being coaching, and certified, trained in actual well-being coaching that helps you look at yourself. And now I'm integrating that with how do you make sure that you are the most important asset of your business and that you keep yourself centered in the decisions that you make.
Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense, but we don't always think that way. When we are busy and taking care of a business, especially if we are the business owners, we feel that, overwhelming responsibility. I can't waste time sleeping. you know, Something is due and it's important for me to
Yes.
get it done. So it's easy to overestimate our own needs and just not
Yes,
pay
and I find that
attention.
coaches do that. They do that often. They tend to put their clients first. Everything is making sure that it's client centered, making sure they're giving that
Mm.
top-notch service to their clients, that their business suffers in so many ways. And if they are the only employee of the business, they end up doing everything. They become more of an operator in their business opposed to being the visionary CEO that they started out with, doing those tasks that they actually are value added, and also just feeds their energy, what makes them feel good. Because that's
Mhm.
in the program that I've designed, the CEO Wealth operating system, with wealth spelled WELLTH, because it is more than just the money. If your well-being isn't
Yes.
balanced, the money doesn't matter.
No, I
So I
love
want to
that.
make sure that we're working on both. But within that program, part of what we do is take a look at what are those tasks that give you joy? What are those
Mhm.
tasks that you're holding on to that you could just get rid of? They're not even important to your business. What do you need to delegate to other people?
Yes, I love that. Well, spelled that way because, again, we give so much importance to what our tasks are, what the outcome is. Do we have enough money? Are we making, are we meeting our needs? Are we helping others in the process? And where is myself in there? Where is the taking care of self?
Yes.
So I very much appreciate that attention to even in the spelling out, wealth needs to have that well aspect in it. So have you found a special framework or a method that seems to be successful with your clients?
So the CEO Wealth Operating System is the framework that I use, and we go over 5 different pillars. We work together for about 12 months, and we take a pause for one of our first steps, and we take a look at your well-being and what are your values, what are the things that are important to you. and just really reframing, because over time your business morphs and changes into so many different directions
Mhm.
that if you don't take the moment to pause and take a look at what your vision is and how you want your business to operate in the long run, what are you working towards? So
Mm.
we spend time taking about that, just refining and tweaking your vision. Then we go on and we look at just what are some of the things you're doing for your personal operating system. What are
Mhm.
the things that give you joy? What are the things that you want to have more time with? It's like, okay, I'm not spending enough time with my family. Okay, let's make sure that becomes a priority. Or
Yeah.
I'm not sleeping well. Let's take a look at that. What are some of the tweaks that we can make as we take a look at your personal operating system and how you're just going through your day? Then we actually look at your business. What are some of the systems that you're using in your business? And spending time just looking at what are the tasks that you do frequently? What
Mhm.
are the energy drains that some of those tasks may have on you? Is it time for you to actually think about hiring a VA or some other person to help you with some of your tasks? And how do you go about that? We take a look at how are your business standard operating procedures working? Do you have them detailed enough that you can hand them off to someone? So we spend time with that. And then I only give you three. Number four is
Sure.
we look at just your leadership skills and how to make
Mhm.
you actually move from thinking of yourself as an operator in your business to actually being the CEO of your business, doing the CEO tasks, making the decisions from that CEO mindset, and really removing yourself from that whole hustle culture as part of it,
Mm.
just because everybody says you need to be a 7 figure, 8 figure coaching business, that might not be what we decided your vision is. You might
Sure.
decide that you want to stay a one woman, one man show and not have additional employees, not do big launches, not do all the things that people are telling you you need to do. We're going to focus on what's important for you. And then once we do all of that, the last part that we focus on is just making sure that we've established a sustainable system for you so you have
Mhm.
that legacy in your business that you're looking for, so that you are able to take time off. And that's one of the final capstone projects that we actually go through, is having you plan for time off where your business is not even at the forefront of your mind. You're able to see that it's able to operate on its own. So just really putting yourself and your well-being at the center and making sure the business is the joy that it needs to be for you.
That is a fascinating method. I would like to dig into it more, but the aspects that struck the core in me is that it's not just about the business. It's not just about the vision that you have for your business, but the vision you have for your life. It really
Yes.
expands your view to what you're doing in your life, because you are not what you do. You are who you are, and you present yourself in what you do. So if you don't take care of who you are, who are you going to present? What is your business going to be about? How are you going to help
Exactly.
others? That panoramic view, right? It's
Yes.
fundamental.
Yes, and so often as an entrepreneur, you end up making your business your whole world, that you do lose focus of who am I? Why did I start this? Why do I want to do what I'm doing? Or just being afraid to pivot from what you may be doing to what you really want to be able to do, and just making sure that all of you is encompassed in what you do. So you're not only known for your business, you may want to be known for someone that has been able to volunteer a lot. So therefore, let's have you have that volunteer time that's important to you, as well as having your business that's important to you. You might come to me and say that I only want to work 20 hours a week, and we'll figure out how to make that work for you, which is why I don't want you coming in with a vision that is what you think you need to do. I want you to really think about what it is that you want to do to have the life that you want to have. And it's more than being a traveling nomad or anything like that. It's about what is it that's going to give you joy and peace and happiness.
Yes, if we don't have inner peace. Life can be quite struggling and challenging, and we can find ourselves into a self-destructive mode and we don't realize it. But if we have that
Exactly.
inner balance, that peace, that I call it light as well, because it does bring light on what is truly important to you.
Hmm.
And so it is very valuable to take a moment and say, okay, this is my career, my business, this is the bigger picture. I think that just the podcast and the website, in addition to my 9 to 5 job, made me realize, yeah, I see the value in what I'm doing. So I'm willing to
Hmm.
sacrifice my time to make sure I can do both. However, what I always underestimate is the importance of sleep.
Exactly. And
Little
that's so
things like
often
that.
what people do. And it's amazing how many entrepreneurs sacrifice their sleep because they're trying to make sure they could do everything that they need to do. They're
Mhm.
trying to make sure that they could spend the time with their family. So they're saying, I'll stop, I'll spend time with my family and I'll start working when the kids go to bed. And then you're up to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, get up the next morning and you start all over again.
Right.
And that doesn't feed you to be at your best for your clients as a coach. So helping you to pause and think about those things that you're doing becomes important because when you look at your daily schedule, you we look at it as how are we managing our time, but it's really more important to think of how are you managing your energy. So one ask that I have of my clients is that they just do a quick energy pulse audit for themselves that happens over 2 days. And over those 2 days, they just set their alarm for like 11 o'clock and 3 p.m. And when the alarm goes off, I just ask that they stop, right? Think about what they're doing, how they feel by what they're doing. Is it an energy drain on them, that particular task? Or is
Mm.
it something that they love to do? For example, it could be that the alarm goes off at 11 and you're answering an email and you realize that yes, these emails need to be answered, but it's really a drain on you. So then we could, by identifying that, that's like the first step. You become aware. Like
Mhm.
writing emails really drained me. And at 3 p.m., you could check and the alarm goes off and you find out that you're scrolling on social media. That could have a certain effect on you. Is it that 5 minute pause that you're taking, is it actually adding energy or is it affecting how you feel about it? But we also want to be able to identify those tasks that you love. So if it's writing your blog post and your newsletters, let's acknowledge that and then we can move on from there. So just that quick 2 day energy pulse audit could tell you so much about just little tasks within your day.
That makes a lot of sense. And it's something I don't do. And that's why it's making sense to me. Because in addition to not sleeping well, sometimes we do overlook things that we care to do that bring joy to us. And then
Yes.
we can
Yes.
find the way to regenerate. We're not robots. We can't just keep going, like little machines with the little tasks and be only task oriented. We need to, like you say, feed, nourish. I like the word feeding. We gotta nourish
Mm-hmm.
ourselves to be able to regenerate. And it is challenging though to find that balance. So I would like to ask you, what will be a recommendation you might have for people like me who struggle finding that balance? Mind you, I'm not a CEO, I don't have a huge business, but I have, 2 jobs and I do like to write as well. I have things that I want to do and things that I have to do, and my health is in the middle.
Well, one of the things I like and why I use the word CEO is because that's a sign that you're taking control. So
Yeah.
while I do work a lot with other business owners, I also work with helping people become the CEOs of their life. So it's just the theme that I take on because it's really about how can I take control. And I think one of the first things you can do is just pause and reflect on what are some of those things that you do. I do have a CEO reset kit that's available through my website that you could download. And within it, it gives you an energy audit that you can do and some other just tasks to make you more aware of some of those things that are going on in your day-to-day experiences that you may not even be aware of. Like I said, it's not so much about are you managing your time correctly. I want you to be focused on how is your energy in those tasks that you're doing, because I could have my calendar booked from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and I'm getting stuff done. But if at 8 p.m., when it's time to stop my day and I'm feeling drained and I just want to sit on the couch, don't even want to eat, I'm not eating properly because I'm just going through all the tasks.
Yes.
What good is that doing for you to have your calendar booked? You're super efficient looking at time. That's not where we need to have our focus. Our focus really needs to be on what is that energy. So within the CEO kit, that's one of the things that you'll take the time to do. Like over a week, you'll take a look at how am I using my time? What does it feel like? Within it, I also help you establish your shutdown ritual for the end of the day. So that
Mm,
way you're actually thinking of how am I
yeah.
shutting my mind off from working at this particular job, which is what your business is or your podcast or whatever it is, for how can I make sure that I'm leaving that behind and I'm going to be present in my life afterwards. And then part of what we do too is just look at how can you make a balanced week for yourself, taking time to create your CEO schedule where you block out your non-negotiable times. It could be
Mhm.
like from first thing in the morning, my non-negotiable time is I am working out or I'm meditating, and that's happening here. So you're putting all of that in. Then you're looking at how you're using your time for other tasks. Like, are you trying to write at 3 p.m. when you really should be writing at 10 a.m.? Because that's when your mind is more
Yeah.
focused.
Mhm.
Instead of trying to fit task in, let's actually think about when is the best time for me to do that task.
Yeah.
So that's part of what's in that CEO reset kit. But I also do have a lot of clients that come to me that have issues with their sleep. And a lot of those things is like, okay, let's put a ritual together for going to bed so you know that it's time for your mind to shut down. Set that
Mhm.
bedtime. Hopefully, when you do your balanced week schedule, that's part of what you said that your bedtime would be 10 p.m. and it becomes a non negotiable. So that way it becomes most nights you're at least getting into
Yes.
bed and doing that shutdown ritual by 10 p.m. and you're getting the sleep that you need. Knowing
Mhm.
that although we do all these things that it's not going to always happen the way we perceive, but it's about having in your mind that this is the way I want to operate my day, operate my life, the things that are important to me. I need to shift my mindset from one task to another, just having those skills and tools to be able to do it.
Absolutely. And you know what I love? The word energy that you mentioned throughout our conversation. It just now clicked. Instead of thinking about time management, think about energy management. How
Yes.
valuable that is, because when you are setting your schedule so filled with tasks, but how is your energy level throughout them? And then when you go to bed,
Yes.
sometimes I experience that I'm so tired, I can't even fall asleep. And my mind can't shut up. Literally keeps thinking about the next task. What am I going to do
Yes.
tomorrow?
You're focused on all the things you need to do the next day, and
Exactly.
that's not where you need to be, which is why, yes, time management is great, but it is really about the energy and how you're feeling doing task and making sure that certain things are there. And that's really where that wellness aspect really comes in, because you're really looking at what is affecting yourself.
Absolutely. Again, the whole package. We need to take care of ourselves a little bit more holistically. I know some people don't like the word, but globally, or, really with the wider perspective of not just narrowing down to what we do, but who we are and what we need to be well.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that from Duke Health and Wellbeing training that I took that they stressed is that you are the center of all the things that are going on around you, but it all comes back to you.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if it's your career, your physical activity, your nutrition, whatever part of the wheel of health it may come into, it all comes back to you and what's feeding you and what that overall vision for your life is. I was speaking with someone the other day, and their focus was more on for their future well-being self was their grandma self. They wanted to be able to live for up until they're 100. So that's the whole set of what we're framing our conversations around is
Mhm.
her vision of her older self being able to be the grandmother, the wise woman that she wants to be at that point in time, and it's helping her to frame how she wants her life and her business to look.
How selfless and wonderful of her to think that way. Grandparents are amazing figures in our lives, and sometimes we don't think
Yes.
about we might become one.
Yep.
So, very good point.
But it's those little things that's about what's going to drive you to move
Yes.
forward and to see yourself being there. Because now that you know that's what you want to be able to be that wise older woman that lives to be 100 plus.
Mhm.
Having that mindset, you're able to step back and say, what am I doing today that's helping me to get to that person? And if you're not
Yes.
sleeping, it's going to impact your health. If your health is impacted, you're not going to be that wise woman that you want to be. And if it's that you want to be that 90-year-old woman running a marathon, what is it that you need to do, right? It's not going to be working till you can't work anymore, not sleeping. It's a lot of knots that are there that you become aware of.
Yeah, very good point. And I know that people could really benefit from having a chat with you. So, where could they get in touch with you or find out more information about your coaching business?
They could visit my website. It's kgaskinsconsulting.com, or they could look for me on LinkedIn at Kimberly Gaskins. And like I do have the CEO reset kit that's available for free that they could download and go through those activities. And there's additional information in that as well for how to get in touch with me.
Wonderful. I'm really grateful that you took the time today to converse with me. I know that the audience who will tune in has certainly got something positive, beneficial to hear.
Thank you. I really appreciate being able to talk with you.
Thanks again. And to you who tuned in, make sure to look at the description of the episode where I put the information about our guest. And remember to take care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. Breathe, smile, and do something to soothe yourself today.